Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. My name is miahtheking, and welcome to my channel. Want to hear a funny tidbit to make your little journey worth it? Well, did you know the Night's Watch cloaks in Game of Thrones were made from IKEA rugs? Yeah, the show bought the rugs, shaved them down, and then dyed them to make them look like the cloaks. I know, right? Anyway, thanks a bunch for clicking on my video despite its size. I really appreciate it, and I hope you'll stick around. If not for the funny jokes and random facts, then perhaps because I can help you figure out if you need a game in 10 minutes or less. Don't believe me? Then let me prove it. So today we're taking a look at a game just released on Steam called Car Dealer Simulator, developed and published by Garage Monkeys, which is impressive when you think about it. Released not in early access and selling for $20. So what even is this game anyway, and is it even worth it? Well, let's find out. So basically, this game is kind of exactly what you think it's gonna be. You basically get put in charge of a rundown, beat-up old car dealership left to you by some guy, and now you gotta pick it up off the ground, brush it off, and turn it into something that shines. It's a typical simulator that has you build your business from the ground up. So let's dive into the good and the bad, followed by my final thoughts. So the first positive point for me was the music and eventually the overall sound design. And I'm gonna be honest, this game has absolutely no right to have music this bumpin'. I don't know what they were thinking, but that's probably the best damn music I've heard for a game since Baldur's Gate 3. And as you get into the game, you're met with decent ambiance, great sound effects involving all things that you'd want, like different engines starting, and sandpaper, and washing, and water trickling, with different radio stations with even more music to listen to, and even voice actors, which are mostly passable, but the guy who introduces you to the game is actually very well acted. So overall, the sound design in this game was freaking phenomenal, and really helped solidify my interest in pursuing it further. Next up for the positives is the graphical design. Now, while it's not the best I've seen, it isn't bad either. It does have some good effects, such as water effects, lighting effects, and some attention to detail. Now, of course, it does have its issues like contrast, color designs, and sharpness, especially in a lot of areas, but I think it's got more good than bad, so here it is in the positives. Not too bad to look at, and passable enough to ignore its flaws, or at least enough to enjoy the game. The next positive point I'd like to point out is the stability and user interface. The game's UI is actually pretty comfortable for players. The controls make sense, the timing works, the overall organization is decent with little lag, and all while looking comfortable and easygoing so as to not overwhelm or confuse the players. As for the stability, the game did have a few hiccups here and there, like stuttering and freezing, but they were very few and far between, and for the most part, the game was running really smooth without any other significant issues like crashing. Now, this is only from my experience, so it could be different for you. However, I feel like the stability is pretty legit here and works well. Next up that I'd like to talk about is the gameplay. This segment typically goes on forever, and I'm working really hard on trying to sum it up better to keep these videos short and efficient, so here I go trying to do that. You have no cars. You need cars. Go find cars. Either abandon cars or negotiate to buy cars from people. Bring those cars back and engage in a mini game of Power Wash Simulator to wash those dirty bitches. After which you then take your car into the repair shop and then play a mini game of House Flipper to repair what's wrong with it. Clean it up and make it all nice and presentable. After which you then take the car out front and place it for sale, all whilst the game has a mini-map and driving mechanics similar to Grand Theft Auto. Rinse and repeat and increase your overall reputation, earn tons of money, and upgrade your dealership so that you can finally stop sleeping on a moldy couch. Hey, eventually even hire some employees to make your job easier, and yeah, that's pretty much it. For a bit more context, there is a lot of aspects to the gameplay here, especially in terms of fixing up and repairing these broke down cars you happen to find at your local scrapyard. You need to purchase the right tools, the right parts, and fix up the car with several different minigames depending on what you're repairing. Or you can do what I do and go to the scam artist route, where I just slap duct tape on everything and then sell it for brand new without telling the customers. I mean, that's what all the dealerships in my city do in real life, so why can't I do it here? The main point to take away from the gameplay, however, all jokes aside, is that the gameplay has an addictive, immersive, and engaging formula that works to keep you invested and engaged despite the overall boring premise, or at least what some people might consider a boring premise. Like, for instance, I'm not a car guy, don't really care much about them, yet I was still invested and interested enough to do all the little fixins needed to make this beauty purr and shine like the sun. In conclusion, I enjoyed the gameplay and thought it was fairly well designed for what it is. And last but not least for the positives in this game would be the price tag. When I think about everything included here, as well as the length of play required to finish it, and the voice acting and more, I just can't think of a better price tag for this. I mean, $20 for a fully finished game with good stability and not boring, that's a damn good price. I mean, that's even better than perfect price. Holy crap, I can't believe they're selling it this cheap. That's just incredible, and I just had to make special mention of it. But that's all I got to say positively about the game, and now we got to go into the negatives. But before that, I just wanted y'all to know that I'm trying really hard to get to 5,000 subs, and I'm almost there. I'm almost at 4,000. So if y'all could just help support my channel by liking the video, subscribing, leaving a comment, maybe sharing at my video on social media or something, and you would just be helping me out tremendously, and I'd really appreciate it. And I started this channel to help people not get screwed over by game devs, but I can't help you if you don't know when I send out the red alert. So make sure you hit that notification bell right down there below the video, and you'll always be safe from the bullshit scam games that keep releasing nowadays, alright? Alright, now on to the negatives. I suppose one of the negatives I hate to mention is the lack of depth. I'm always a little hopeful going into games like these and wondering if they're going to give us the depth to make this game something that stands out from all the others, but so far none of them will. It's now at a point where I have no choice but to start giving them negatives when they don't have any depth. Now, what do I mean by depth? I mean something below the surface of the game, something that gives the game more life and makes it feel more real because it's realistic, or it's got a realistic element, or it's got some extra layer of lore or dialogue or just something. And here's an example. When you play Crime Scene Cleaner, and after you do the job, you actually get to go home to your apartment, and there you can legit watch some public access TV show on your TV and even pet your dog. Now, it wasn't much, but it did add some depth. In some of these games, you can sit down and eat, or you can talk with people. That's giving a game depth. This game doesn't have that, unfortunately. It's all surface level. And it's a damn shame, because depth is what helps immerse people in a video game, and it's severely lacking here. You're a robot. There's no need to sleep except to pass the time. There's no need to eat. There's no need to use the bathroom. There's no TV watching or radio listening to unless you're in your car. Can't sit down on any of the chairs even when you're just sitting there waiting for a customer because your lot is full. These are things that would give a game more depth and keep the players coming back for more and talking about it for days and years to come. The next negative point I have is that it's a little boring and repetitive. Now, earlier I said it wasn't boring, but it's more of a preference kind of thing. It's also a repetition kind of thing. I mean, it's just basically the same thing over and over again, which at first is kind of interesting and fun as it's all new and refreshing and you're learning it and yada yada, but the longer you play it, the more boring and repetitive it'll become. Sure, you can eventually upgrade stuff and do this or the other or whatever, but how long will it take to get to that point? A dozen hours? I mean, how many people are you going to lose by then? And too many, I would suspect. However, those are really the only negatives I could think of that came to mind, and I was honestly just kind of nitpicking. Overall, the game is fairly well designed for what it is, and I think it's definitely worth its asking price. I mean, you're not getting ripped off when you purchase this game. It has a fun and engaging gameplay, it's stable, it's cheap, it's got a lot of effort put into it, all while being seamless and cohesive in terms of its mechanics, gameplay, UI, and etc. Overall, I think it's a very fine game as long as you know what it is that you're getting into, and yes, I would highly recommend purchasing it if it seems like something you'd be interested in. It's addictive, engaging, and well designed. However, know that as you go in, it doesn't do anything different from any other simulator game. It's run-of-the-mill. So if you were hoping for something newer or better or different from all the others, you're not going to find it here. Like if you were hoping, hey, maybe after all these simulator games, somebody somewhere is going to break the mold and they're going to give us a little bit more, they're going to do something different, they're going to improve on the old design, you're going to be disappointed. However, that doesn't mean it's a bad game, just creatively bankrupt like all the others. Take that for what you will. The choice is yours, and I will hope I was able to help. But that's all the time I got for today, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, with a special thanks to those of you who stuck around to the end. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you all farewell.